Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to walk through Perennial Sound Studio. It's just as vibrant on the inside as it is on the outside. This is where, if you've watched any of my videos that have come before this is where I've filmed pretty much everything, and it's a really cool little spot. Let's go inside and take a look.
Close, you had your doubts and then you flew away. Your heart feels no pain.
So, this is Perennial on the inside. You walk into the small entryway. Straight ahead of me is the control room. That's where you're seeing me from right now. To my right is the live room, as well as the drum room. We'll get to those here in a minute. But this room is a perfect example of what makes this studio super cool. I went through a phase of being kind of obsessed with tiny houses for a little bit. And this studio is almost kind of a tiny studio in the same sense. If you've seen videos about tiny houses where people talk about their builds, they're always talking about maximizing the space everywhere they can. And that's been done here at Perennial. First case in point, first best example is this entryway that if I shut this door, I'm isolated. I can record vocals in here. I've even got a patch panel here on the wall. Can patch in no problem. I've got doors that seal off every single room in here that could be sealed off. So just prime example, and you're going to see a little bit of it, of how every little space has been maximized. So from the entryway here, we step to the right, and we've got the live room. The first thing you see isn't necessarily a single thing as much as it's a ton of really cool colors. You've got a lot of red and blue and some gold that's just vibrant but tasteful. You're going to see a ton of Bowie, but most importantly, the instruments. So in here is where the majority of guitars, basses, ukulele or two, bunch of keyboards. You got an actual piano in here, amps, pedals. This is where the instruments live. There's amps under keyboards. There's a little nook under the stairs that go up to the storage loft where a bunch of guitars and pedals live. Every little bit of space is accounted for in a really functional way. You don't have to go far to find things. So Ryan is the owner of this studio. He is the singer and guitar player of a band called Modern Drugs. Also used to be in a band called Elsinore here in the Champaign, Urbana, Illinois area. He also teaches lessons, and this live room is where he teaches his lessons. Specializes in vocals, guitar, bass, piano. He might do drums, I'm not sure, ukulele, but I'm going to leave the link down below for Perennial. If you're interested in any of that stuff and you're here in the Champaign area, please reach out to Ryan. But a big part of why he built this place is to have the live room, to have some place he could teach lessons. And there's a lot going on in here. He's got all his instruments, basses, guitars, some really cool basses and guitars. Synths, pianos. There's an actual piano in the corner as well as some electronic pianos. Got amps. There's a Ampeg SVT just sitting right here, as well as some silver face fenders. And there's a drum room over here. We're going to touch on all of it. I'm going to start behind the door here. We're going to start back here behind the door. Got some percussion goodies. We've got a mic drawer. I see some 635s. I see a 57, 421s, SM7s, all sorts of stuff you would expect to see in a recording studio. We've got more drawers with more percussion goodies down here. Always good to have. A theremin. A Rickenbacker. I've got a Silverface Super I'm looking at right here. As you enter the live room here, it's really easy to get distracted by the instruments. It seems like every time I walk in here, there's one that catches my eye that like, ooh, I feel like I need to play that for a minute. We saw the Rickenbacker. We've got a bass 6 up here. Vintage Telly. I think this is from the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. If you saw my video about the 68 335, here it is. I would say this is probably the coolest guitar in here. Not to throw shade at any of the other ones, but it's just so cool. Ryan actually plays this live with his band Modern Drugs. I'm going to put some music in from them so you can hear what he does. This thing just sounds too good, though. We've got a Vintage SG, Ampeg SVT Classic, and as we walk over towards the drum room, one of my other favorite instruments in here. Shot in the drum room here, but we've got a Gretsch Catalina Club kit. We've got some decent cymbals. We've got some cymbals hiding over there in the corner as well. Mics. Got some storage and some more percussion stuff. And if I can get right here, above the door, even more percussion stuff. Great use of storage here. Kind of a neat way to get the drums isolated. It's a compact room, but just being able to isolate the drums like this is super handy. Coming out of the drum room, here's the stairway up to the storage loft you might not have seen on the way in. Got a PA up there. Other than that, it's kind of boxes and cases. I've put room mics up there to try to capture the room before. The room's treated pretty well, so you don't get much sound bouncing off the walls. But it's still one more thing that you can do to maximize the use of this smaller space. To me, this is the heart of a recording studio, the live room, the instruments. This is a really cool way to integrate all of that together. Having the instruments stored out here, there's not necessarily space for a bunch of racks against a wall somewhere. So this is a really cool way to tackle that. Just have them all ready to grab right off the wall. But if this is the heart of a recording studio, let's head into the brain here in a second. I did want to mention one other project that got worked on extensively here that's really cool. If you're familiar with the video game Hi-Fi Rush, the soundtrack to that was done here at Perennial Sound Studios. Super cool. I'll put some of that music up here too. brain of the studio. Everything is ran on a Mac Studio, M2 Max, 64 gigabytes of RAM. I think it would take a lot to really overclock this thing to throw too much at it. We've got 2 Apollo X8s running the show as far as interfaces. We've got a couple of preamps, some API, some Neve. We also have a Universal Audio 4710D over here. 4 spots. You've got tube saturation that you can work with. It's a cool little unit. We've got some focals. This is a capable little studio, especially with all of the patching that you can do. I can patch from the drum room, from that entryway we saw. There's patches in the live room. I could record a full band in here. The patching can take it. The computer can definitely take it. If you haven't used one of the silicon chip Macs for recording, I've got an M1 MacBook Pro that I use to mix with, and it's kind of crazy what it can handle. But this is the control room. A lot of smart space utilization overall in this studio. Super cool place here. Ryan is the owner of Perennial Sound Studio. If you're in the Champaign-Urbana area in Illinois and you want to take vocal lessons, guitar lessons, bass lessons, ukulele, piano, you want to record music, any combination of those things, I'm going to leave the link below. Go find him and check him out. Go listen to their music. His band, Modern Drugs. Check out the hi-fi soundtrack. They worked on that a bit here. Overall, super cool place. Come check it out if you're in the area. Book some time here. Book some lessons here. It really was something that helped me out with my own voice, developing my voice a bit. And I can't suggest him enough. Thanks for stopping by. Please click the like and subscribe buttons down below. It helps me as I grow the channel. I am trying to grow this channel, and this is just one of the things I could be doing with it, is showing you more studios in my area, outside of my area, if we get to that point. Please just subscribe. I really appreciate it.